Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome in. What's up, you guys? Happy Thursday. You are locked into KBLA Talk 1580 with me, Jill Munroe, and you already know what time it is. It is time for another entertainment news update, and you are locked in for the night of the hottest headlines, the juiciest tea, and of course the stories you won't hear anywhere else. At least not with the facts and flavor that I bring, you know? And of course, this is your front row seat to the culture. So tonight we are going to keep that promise and bring you all the crazy headlines that are jumping out there. So Timbaland, you know him. He of Justin Timberlake, Aaliyah, Missy, hits. He recently revealed some pretty interesting things about a time in his life when he was on drugs and he is now clean, and what he says the difference is for him professionally. We are also going to talk about, Bronny James has been pretty quiet during all the speculation, all the commentary, but he has something to say. He is firing back at the haters, so we're going to get into what he had to say. Plus, Tamar Braxton, she just celebrated her birthday on Monday. I believe it was number 48, so shout out to Tay-Tay once again. But she recently on her Instagram Live had an eyebrow-raising revelation, and we're going to get into it and, see if you think that she is overreaching in her approach or right where she should be. And we have an interview with a 5-time Grammy Award-winning producer. He's much more than that, but Eric Hudson. And, you are familiar with all of his hits, like Chris Brown, Residuals. That challenge is bubbling over right now. And, of course, like some of my personal favorites, what Eric doesn't know, what he is about to find out, because what I found out is like, he might be one of my favorite producers. There's some songs in there that I hold dearly and close to my heart that he's been a part of. So we're going to get into all of that. But before we do, let's get into a couple of these conversation starters. Get comfortable, get your snacks, get your beverages, and let's go. So Kim Kardashian is getting people onto her side. Kanye West continues to wild out on social media. He had a lot to say, a tweet and delete, about Beyoncé and Jay-Z's children. He called them a word that we are not allowed to say in the current culture. It's quite rude, actually. And he also accused Kim of trafficking their kids and all sorts of things. Well, Kim had to go pick up her daughter Northwest while she was visiting Kanye recently because he had the Tate brothers there. And if you're familiar with them on YouTube and their online antics, you understand why Kim would not want her daughter, her young daughter, to be around these gentlemen. So Kanye has been wilding out for attention. You know, Bully is dropping. 50 Cent posted about the album. I'm wondering if he's on it. It features Playboi Carti and some others. Andy.
That's the name of the album, Bully?
Bully, yeah. He said he named it after his son, Saint, because Saint kicked a friend when they were playing video games, and he asked him why, and Saint said it was because the friend was weak.
Interesting. I was going to say, it sounds like Kanye is trying to bully the industry.
He's trying to get attention. He's trying to bully the industry. His usual tactics don't work, so he's swinging low. He wants Jay-Z and Beyonce's attention. Where do I go? He's jealous of Kendrick and the attention he's getting because he took out Drake. Yeah, it's a lot to this. Those are just my opinions, though. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
The revolution will not be televised.
What's up? It is Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render, and I'm encouraging you to listen to more, not less, of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Senator Nina Turner on KBLA Talk 1580.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-550-9651.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-550-9651. That's 800-550-9651.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So I got a couple of little more conversation starters because you guys need to be aware, and I like to make sure that you are in the know. So first up, if you hadn't heard, the biggest sports sale in U.S. history went down. Billionaire investor Bill Chisholm just agreed to buy the Boston Celtics for a record-breaking $6.1 billion. This is now the largest sale for a sports franchise in North America. And so, you know, the NBA's valuations, they continue to go up. So we will see what that ultimately means. Andy?
Any plans to move the franchise, or he's staying put in Boston?
Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. You do that, you lose some of the value. And also, for you know, Magic City P Valley fans, Starz is set to debut Magic City, an American Fantasy, which is a 5-part docuseries about the legendary Atlanta strip club. The series is going to get into Magic City's rise to fame, its influence on hip-hop, and the behind-the-scenes lives of the club's founder, Michael Mr. Magic Barney, and the women who have helped build his name over the years. It is being produced by Drake's Dream Crew Entertainment and Jermaine Dupri. So, I don't know if you guys saw on social media, Jermaine Dupri seemingly was talking about Drake's reach when it comes to DJs and whatnot. So, obviously they have at least a cordial relationship. Perhaps they're working on a project together. So we will have to see what that is all about. They're doing everything to string out the return of P Valley. Let's point that out. When did the other season 2 of P Valley drop? It's been years at this point. Our visit to the Pank, I don't know. So anyway, let's get into this Tamar Braxton story. So, Tamar, she's always going to break it down to you exactly like it is, exactly how she feels about things. And this latest revelation, it has everybody kind of looking at her sideways, like, what are you really thinking about, Tamar? So the singer and reality star, she recently shared on her Instagram Live about being single and being outside and being in these streets. And she's basically saying, the water is polluted, that it is not good out there. It's not looking great. And I guess she was talking about the Atlanta dating scene and how there's a lot of doubling up on people and, everybody's dating each other, et cetera, et cetera. And she's a wife type, a one woman, one man type of situation. And she said that so much so that the dating world is out of control. She is being extra protective and proactive about her health. And some people are questioning though, like, girl, that much? So let's hear what Tamar had to say.
I ain't for the outside, and I know it. And the reason why I know it is because I'm not going for what everybody else is going for. I'm just not finna do that. Dog, like, all of y'all is dating the same dude. Like, y'all is sharing the same dude. Like, it's giving Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like, what's the name of the day that you got him? And then when you get him, you got to sign an NDA. So nobody know you dating the same dude. Dog, signing an NDA to date a regular person is crazy. And then it's like, I'm not finna, like, my time is precious, so it's given, like, is my time not precious enough for you one-on-one? Y'all don't want to date one-on-one. Y'all want to date 30 people, everybody on your roster at the same time. Like, what is we supposed to go on a trip and then you come back home and take somebody to dinner? What that look like? Or you buy 4 Birkins in different colors and everybody get a Birkin? I don't know, I'm different, like, because I am a wife. I'm not a girlfriend. You're not fit to introduce me. Hey, this is Tamar. This is my girlfriend, Tamar. No, you're my friend. You're my friend, dog. Like, what are you talking about, Willis? So, they just not for me, because I'm not going along with y'all rules. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna do that. I don't know. I'm a one-woman man, and I ain't sharing my man with the streets. Although I'm on prep, and I would tell everybody to get on prep, because prepare yourself for the streets.
So, I mean, that seems extreme to me. You were taking medication to prevent, I don't, like, first of all, how quickly are you jumping from I meet you to condoms off? That's question number one. Not that I'm really questioning what Tamar's doing as a grown adult woman. I'm sure she knows what she's doing. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Is it like that? Is it that deep? Would you consider doing something like that if you were in the dating streets, Andy?
Well, she might be allergic to certain other methods. That's
Latex
fair.
might cause problems. I get it.
Just saying.
But there's lambskin. I mean, there's other stuff.
Them other ones aren't as efficient.
As effective. Okay,
So,
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. Take all precautions.
Hey, and you can't, I'm a guy. I was over here ripping and running these streets at one point in my life.
Right.
we some savages now.
I agree with.
So I'm not mad at her for taking precautions because, can you trust a guy and say that, I got tested, or I don't know, things could be manipulated.
You got to make that a date night, like an outing. Like people always talk about struggling for date ideas. At a certain point,
let's go to the clinic.
Let's go and make sure everything is all good. We can make a day of it. We can stop and get ice cream. We can do all the ice cream walking date things that you like.
Hey, but if we both know that we're clean, when it's time for the bedroom,
you active,
no
ready
limits.
for it. Really? That's your only concern?
What do you mean?
At this point?
No, I'm saying, like, if we both go get tested and we find out that we both clean,
right?
Let's have fun.
Okay.
Like Tiana Taylor said.
Right, but I'm saying you want somebody's back blown out. But what I'm saying is, are you taking other precautions for other things? There's a couple of things that can result from unprotected sex.
I mean, what else is there? Pull out method, plan B.
No, I mean, I don't know. I'm saying, are you thinking about, at this point in time, right, you're all systems go on that front. Are you like, planning for children? Are you thinking about, well, if it happens, I'm with it? Like, is that a precaution in the all systems go?
For me, at that time, I'm going to go ahead and say yes to.
Okay. All right. Well, there it is. Okay. Well, listen, shout out to Tamar. I hope she finds her dream lover out there, someone to be kind, someone to be good, someone to love her in the way that she would like to be loved, because it's a cold, cold world in those streets, and connection is different these days. So that is that. All right. Legendary producer Timbaland, right? He's recently dropped some bombshells. He admitted that some of his best work happened while he was high on drugs. We're talking about projects like Beyonce's Drunk in Love, Justin Timberlake's The 2020 Experience, and Jay-Z's Magna Carta Holy Grail. He says he's clean now and that his new work is even better. But here's the question. Do we as fans, I know back in the rock era it was, do we, we talk about like Future and what was in his cup and all of those things, and then only to discover wasn't much going on in Future's cup. He was just speaking for the culture, not as for his lifestyle. Do you think that we have romanticized the idea too much of the tortured artist making their best work while under the influence, right? Because there's lots of artists that have created, things while they were battling demons, battling the bottom of a bottle, battling drugs, things of that nature. And sometimes they are some of our favorite pieces of art. So do you think that we do that too much, or is this just another example of the industry enabling addiction?
Yo, that's a tough question. I mean, I don't know if we celebrate that, or you know what I'm saying? You talked about bringing it up often. Are you saying the industry?
I'm just saying in general over the years, like the idea of, like, think about Future and how much, people associated Purple Sprite and stuff with like certain artists there, or even, you even think about weed, like how Snoop Dogg, we associate Snoop with weed. Yeah. And some of, our favorite moments, can we imagine Doggy Style without the marijuana references or things of that nature? Our assumption as fans from what Snoop presents is that I'm high every minute of the day, every second, and I function, right? And there's a lot of artists that we hear that with, like Where's My Cup? There was a time when Lil Wayne would hit the stage always with a double cup, the assumption that there was Purple Sprite inside, right? And we cheer this on, we laugh at it, we make jokes, all of these things. And it's always been something that has been talked about, noted in music, especially if you look back to coming off of the Woodstock and the hippie movement of the 60s and 70s, and, kind of that mystique around drugs and art and where it can take us. And do you think that as a culture we romanticize altered states in creating art?
Man, I'm going to go ahead and say no.
No? Okay.
I don't think we romanticize.
Think Rick James, Mary Jane. A
Yeah.
whole ode to,
Like, if there's anything, in my opinion, that has been romanticized, is that the creation of the music has been under the influence. But to say that that's something that we gravitate to, or something that we love.
I'm not saying we as specifically black people. I'm just saying in general in pop culture, that idea of the tortured artist or the person, think about someone like Krishan Rock, right? Part of the thing with her was she was always under the influence and wilding out. And even though we kind of poo-poo it, she had her greatest run, in theory, under the things. There's been conversation about whether or not, when she was pregnant, well, not conversation, she showed herself on live, taking a drink or, hitting the weed while she was pregnant and stuff. And we just kind of like, we romanticize the whole thing around it.
I guess for me, I don't look at it as romanticizing, because I guess, at least for me, in my perspective, it's kind of normalized.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, but at the same time,
You think of it as part of the creative process for some, or that, it's just
I actually
people like
don't.
that. Okay.
I don't. I like Future, even though, he talks about the cup, I don't think he's, under the influence every time. Now, is he pushing that because that's part of their culture where he lives? That's what I take from it. You know what I'm saying? It's a culture thing. Sipping the cup, sipping the lean, smoking weed, all that. It's like a culture thing. And I guess that's why for me, it's kind of like a normal thing.
But here's the thing. You think about 20 years ago, think about when you were coming up, right? Was smoking weed as prevalent, as mainstream as it is today?
No, not at all.
It was something that was considered an underground activity, not something that proper people do. And I'm not saying we should go back to that, but I'm just saying now you think about every movie, every TV show, even The Uptight Lawyer, there might be a moment where he goes and pours himself a drink to unwind. Or nowadays you see a lot of them taking out a pre-roll and taking a hit of the J. And I'm just saying, we have, as far as in our art, and I consume it. I'm not necessarily saying it's a problem. I'm asking a question. Is it? Because,
Is it a problem? Is drugs a problem is what you're saying?
Well, is it a problem in our art, the way that we position it a lot of times as far as the creative process?
That's like a sociological question.
Too deep?
because I just feel like, for me coming up, I used to hear that some of the greatest music was created under the influence.
That's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. So do we turn a blind eye to addiction in favor of art, or unsafe behaviors, or too much because it produces fire music? And we have a trail of examples of people, battling through that, presenting us with some of our favorite moments.
I'm going to say I don't care for
Okay.
me. And the reason why I don't care is because Timbaland said it himself. Well, we didn't play the clip yet.
Yeah.
But he basically says that his best music was done not under the influence.
Right.
But even with him under the influence and those particular records that he's referring to, I wouldn't.
They're out the box hits.
I wouldn't tell the difference of whether he was under the influence or not. So I don't know.
Hard call, right?
It's tough.
Do we have time to play the clip before we go to break? Okay, let's get into what Timbaland had to say.
It's just a blessing, man. Like I think people were trying to maybe talk, but it's hard to talk to a person that's addicted.
How much of the addiction, the rehabilitation, like how much of that overlap with the moments you crashed and you weren't as inspired to go and do some of the things that you had done? Like what type of influence did the drugs and the recovery and all that have on your music?
I think the recovery, being on drugs and doing music was like wonderful. Because I think my music is like amazing. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing.
What were the drug songs?
Maybe 2020. The 2020 experience.
Mm-hmm. Great album.
And then I want to say Beyonce. I think Drunk in Love doing that. Wow. Jay-Z, Magna Carta.
What?
Yeah.
Being high and doing music was great because those albums in that time was amazing, but it's like decades long of a run, right? You know, like it's late 90s, early 2000s of a run. So it's not like you needed that. Are you saying the feeling of producing music
It was fun during that time. But those were cool albums. But my best work was done when I wasn't on drugs.
Yeah.
That's facts. It was just fun. Creating. You had to be, I'm doing all them albums back to back. So it was just that experience. And as I look back at it now, it's like, they were great, but they don't stand like my big records, like Big Pimpin', Dirt Off Your Shoulder, 1 in a Million. Those are drug free. You know what I'm saying? So when I look back at my highlights, that's probably a dip. Even though it was still good, you know, that's just God giving talent in me. Like God still having his hand on me. You know, so that's why those songs were still beautiful, but they don't have like Future Sex Love sound type of.
Yeah.
That's when it kind of started at the end of that Future Sex Love sound.
When we come forward, we'll get more into Timbaland's thoughts and more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. A bill to ban DEI initiatives at Ohio public colleges is moving closer to becoming law. The House passed an amended version of Senate Bill 1. It bans diversity, equity, and inclusion practices and strikes by faculty members. New York's highest court has struck down non-citizen voting in the city, ruling it unconstitutional. The law signed by Black Mayor Eric Adams in 2022 allowed non-citizens to vote in municipal elections. A civic group is calling for Kansas City manager Brian Platt's removal after a jury ruled he suggested staff lie to the media. The Urban Council sent a letter to Black Mayor Quentin Lewis and the City Council urging his ouster. And President Trump plans to sign an executive order today to eliminate the Department of Education, returning control to states. NAACP President Derek Johnson calls it a dark day for students relying on federal support. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Excellent news in Mid-City with a wreck that is wrapped up on the 10 eastbound at Western, but traffic is still there out of Santa Monica from 20th Street. Pasadena, it's improving. 134 westbound before Colorado, where another wreck has been moved out of lanes. Delays are still a mess away from the 210. 210 westbound also loading up away from Rosemead to the 134. But this crash in Anaheim Hills, 91 eastbound past Weir Canyon, it's blocking the fast track lanes, and 2 left lanes of the main line also blocked. Huge delays away from the 57 freeway.
Imagine a photograph of your favorite place in California. Then right in the middle of it, one piece of litter. Litter has no place in our lives, not one piece. Together, let's change that. Clean California. Zero litter is the goal. CleanCA.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers will have to play tonight's home game against Milwaukee without Luka Doncic. Doncic has a sprained right ankle. He played 32 minutes Wednesday night and the Lakers win over Denver. The Lakers want Doncic to sit out tonight to avoid further injury in a back-to-back game. LeBron is also out tonight. No word yet on LeBron's status. LeBron has been out since March 8th with a groin injury. The UCLA men's basketball team plays their first game tonight in the NCAA tournament. The Bruins, a 7th seed in the Midwest Regional, face number 10 Utah State in Lexington, Kentucky. 6 6:25 p.m. tip-off on TNT. Casey Wasserman, the agent for hip-hop superstar Kendrick Lamar, said the Compton native will play a major role in the opening ceremonies for the Summer Olympics in LA in 2028. The opening ceremonies are scheduled for July 14th at SoFi Stadium. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, this is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and for over 20 years, Parkside Economic Development Corporation has served Leimert Park and surrounding communities, empowering tomorrow's leaders and changing lives. Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Need a ride? Ride in style. Choose K-Meets, luxury transportation that puts you first. K-Meets has you covered with our 6-seater Sprinter limo that's perfect for couples, proms, weddings, and events. Whether it's a night out, special event, or just because, our Elite Sprinter offers the perfect blend of luxury and intimacy without the crowd. Looking for SUV? K-Meets has that too. Elite SUV service available for your next ride. Book at kmeblack.com or call today 424-500-4751. Again, kmeblack.com 424-500-4751.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Another woman that can take your spot, man.
If I wrote you a symphony, just to say how much you mean to me, what would you do? If I told you you were beautiful, would you date me on the regular? Tell me, would you? Well, baby, I've been around the world, but I ain't seen myself another girl like you. This ring here represents my heart, but there's just one thing I need from you.
Say it, I do. Because I can see us holding hands, walking on the beach, our toes in the sand. I can see us on the countryside, sitting on the grassland side by side. You could be my baby, let me make you my lady. Girl, you amaze me, ain't gotta do nothing crazy. See, all I want you to do is be my love.
Welcome back in. You are locked in to KBLA Talk 1580 with Jill Munroe in the Entertainment News Update. Shout out to the summer of 2006, man. That's when this album was locked into the scene. I'm right, Andy. I know I'm right. I was rocking with this last summer. Come with it. Side note, speaking of right now, our guest is currently locked in LA traffic. You know how that is. So hopefully he'll be able to make it. But if not, we will catch him some other time. We'll see. But I'm going to get to these comments in the chat because you guys have been very, very busy and a lot to say. Fahima says, Jill, Ye is wilding out for attention, which is why he shouldn't be given attention. If it was an ordinary guy saying these things, it would be agreed that he's not well. There's no message in the madness. I agree with you, but I also think that just putting it off on him not being well is a cop-out to a degree, because I'm not a medical professional. I don't intimately know what's going on with Kanye. However, again, when these moments seem to happen, these outbursts, and some of the vitriol behind it, I feel like there is some sense of accountability that needs to fall within there. Do you know what I'm saying? If this was maybe the first 10 times, give him a pass. But right now, we're on like 758. Let's be for real about this. So, I mean, I don't know. Andy?
How about this man needs to go to therapy?
Facts.
And actually heal. Because ever since Mom's passed away, he has not been the same. And there's a part of me that just feels like he's never properly healed from that situation. Because ever since then, it's just kind of just...
It's definitely been a lot, you know? But again... how much of it is strategic? We don't know.
It ain't helping him in his sales, I'll tell you that much.
It's not, but it's getting him attention. And here's the thing, though. It works till it doesn't, right? The last time he's done some of this, like with the Pablo album before and some other things, it definitely worked. It's just this time he's going really far with, you know...
And it's funny that you mentioned that album because I think that probably was his last good album. Every album after that has, in my opinion, has
been subpar.
I was going to say trash.
Okay.
But I'm not going to go that far.
Okay.
I like subpar.
All right. There we go. Morris Phillips says, we're going to get high with the music on. Lord bless. Pretty Brown Mimi says, and I think this is in reference to, she thought Timbaland initially was Ryan Clark. Maybe he was on the Pivot. I'm not sure.
He was on the Pivot.
Okay, that's what I thought. He was on the Pivot podcast having this conversation. But she says, there are too many podcasts. I can't keep up with them. Thank goodness real life still holds me. Yeah, and, you know, they just keep adding on. Podcasts are the new record labels, like in the 90s when everybody had their own record label. Yeah, I got my own imprint with da-da-da-da-da-da.
Hey, as long as they're tapped into Jill Munroe, that's all that matters.
Big facts. You know, because this is where, they're front row seat to the culture. Let's get it. All right, so Bronny James, you know, people have been riding Bronny pretty hard this season, right? And some feel mainly his dad's fault. You know, we've had the debate back and forth about whether LeBron put the target on his back. Some people say yes, some people say no, it's just a dad being a dad, right? And we don't know. And we don't. But Bronny, did I send the Bronny clip? No. Okay, I'm just going to tell you what he said then. So Bronny, he talked about the nepotism critique that he has received. And he said, being LeBron James' son comes with perks, but it also comes with pressure. Well, that's not what he said, right? He basically, you know, he stepped up to speak about it because... you guys have been giving Bronny a hard time. You have not been being kind to him, right? And I think that it is time for him to address it. So it was in an interview with The Athletic, right? And so he shared how he handles the backlash and all of it. He says that he tries to block it out, basically. You know, it's noise, but he uses it as fuel as well. He said, my first thought about everything is always to just try and let it go through one ear and out of the other, put my head down, continue to work, come to work every day being positive and, you know, not letting it get to me. He admitted, though, that every now and then the criticism does, motivate him to work a little bit harder. He said, but sometimes it's fuel a little bit. I see everything that people are saying, and people think like I'm an effing robot, like I don't have any feelings or emotion. And, he's like, I do. So he hears y'all. He sees y'all. I told you guys, he told the guy the other night that was trolling him at the Laker game, your chain is fake. And I'm sure Bronny knows about some quality cut diamonds. So, I think that it is also an opportunity for Bronny to grow into his own. So we'll see what develops from that and how it all lands out. Right now, I think, are they still limited in how many times you can be sent down to the G League? I think you can only be sent down to the G League a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. I'm unclear. But he's been splitting his time back and forth. Lakers got some injuries. Maybe Bronny will be back and show it up. We'll see. He's still got time, y'all. Andy?
I'll say this about Bronny, though. Every time I've seen him on the court, I like his poise. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like he's letting, the outside noise get to him. So he's managing that well. I'm surprised that he did this little interview or whatnot. I'd like to see that article or whatnot.
It's with The Athletic, so it's behind a paywall. But
oh, that's weak. But anyways, I think we need to hear from him more often.
Yeah.
Because you can't allow
as
your
a
dad,
man.
As a man. Come on, Bronny. Like, I know enough that you love the game. I'll say that much. And I know that you want to work hard. But yeah, you are LeBron James' daddy. But here's the problem. You letting your daddy speak for you. You need to continue to do more interviews and just speak.
Show who you are, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I
because
believe
he's
he's
got
grinding.
the support.
Yeah.
He has the support. Every time he has the ball in his hand, Crypto.com, they're going crazy for him. Hell, even at other arenas, when they be playing on the road and Bronny comes in the game and he tries to shoot a 3, everybody's going crazy. Man, you got support too.
Shout out to that. Look, let Bronny free Bronny. Let him speak for himself, and we see how he develops and works through the challenges. I think that is part of it. That is part of his evolution as a professional athlete. And your father can't protect you from that, nor should he, because that is a part of the process. That is part of getting to greatness, I believe. So, look, when we come forward, we're going to have more trending topics, more headlines. You know how we do over here. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up.
Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
What make you? Yeah.
Work
California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You were locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Now, you know, the talk show world has had a lot of new entries into it over the past couple of years. And let me add that one more show has been announced as renewed for the upcoming season. Sherry is officially coming back for a 4th season. She joins daytime hosts like Tamron Hall, Drew Barrymore, Jennifer Hudson, and Kelly Clarkson in securing multi-season deals. So shout out to Sherry. You know, they're putting it down. We like to see it. What, Andy? What?
Nobody has come for Oprah's throne yet, huh?
I don't think it's possible.
At all, huh? It's untouchable.
But I also think that, too, we don't watch TV in the same way.
Fair enough.
I think syndication packages are different, right? Like, I knew, and for most people, as a kid, Oprah Winfrey, after I got home from school, 3 o'clock, I mean, I wasn't home at 3, we got out at 3, but by the time, you know, maybe when you got home or it was a, you know, Christmas break or whatever, you could watch Oprah at 3 o'clock. You knew that's what time it was coming on. Nowadays, I don't think there's a lot of the same consistency in that as far as their syndication deals. There's a lot more talk shows in the mix too, right? And if you think about it, and we've had this conversation, sometimes it may not be, I guess it depends on if you enjoy the host and the conversation that they will have with the individual, but it's not as special as seeing stars, celebrities, or personalities, I think, on shows anymore because we're in their homes on social media. I saw what they had for breakfast. I see that they don't like yolk with their eggs. I know that, you know, they walk around with a furry bathrobe. Like, we know way more about the pop culture icons than we used to. So sometimes people feel like, yeah, I don't know, I can get information from Instagram. So yeah.
Can you make the case that, I mean, like, in comparison to, you know, going on, you know, said show, they could easily just, like you said, go on live. I mean, and get to know them.
That
What's
exactly.
The point? I can promote my movie just by going on live.
Maybe. I mean, you reach a broader audience and you're going to get a different conversation. But remember, I talked about this about 10 years ago, really longer, but when those Sony emails leaked from the hacker, one of the things that was in heavy discussion in the emails from Sony executives, allegedly, was that they were complaining about Kevin Hart charging them for doing social media promotions in their film. At that time, it was not standard. And Kevin knew his worth because Kevin was one of the first to dive headfirst into social media as far as comedy and utilize that to galvanize his fan base and to extend it out. And so he would charge them for it. You know, he's like, oh no, that's not that's extra. That's not included in the press run stuff. And now it is standard in the contracts as far as under publicity, but it wasn't always the case. So, you know, we'll have to see. Listen, in sad romance news, or maybe not, depending on how you're looking at things, Quinta Brunson has filed for divorce for her husband, Kevin, after 3 years of marriage. You know, it comes after a time, of course, after her takeoff hit, Abbott Elementary. I hope they have a prenup. I'm just saying. And they've been together for quite some time. They have a post-nup agreement, so not a prenup, but a post-nup. And she's asking the court to divvy up the property according to that agreement, right? And there's no children. But they got engaged in about July of 2020 and tied the knot in 2021, kept it pretty much under the radar. So, shout out to, if you don't get a prenup, get a postnup. Just get something to cover the moment when you may not be in love like you used to be. You're not wishing, we just want to be clear, excuse me, we're not wishing a lack of love on anyone, but, you got to be prepared. You got to take care of those things because you never know what can happen. And then what? Boom. Now you guys aren't friends anymore and you're left trying to sort through all of the drama and make it right. We don't want to see that. So anyway, look, there is still much to talk about. Can you believe it? We still got so much more to get into. So I know we talk a lot about the type of content that we are being exposed to, sometimes the type of content that's being made, what we do want to see, if we want to see more substance in the things that we are presented. So Deadline is reporting that filmmaker Joshua Coates, he's secured the rights to the life story of Abraham Bolden. And it is based off of the 2008 autobiography, The Echo of, is this Dealey Plaza? Bolden is, if you're not familiar with who he is, he made history as the first Black U.S. Secret Service agent assigned to the White House detail. And he began his time doing that guarding President John F. Kennedy. So we're not talking about a new thing. We're talking about the first Black Secret Service White House detail in 1961 with JFK. So I'm sure he's seen and heard some things. I wonder if there's anything about Maryland in there. Maybe. But so the screenplay has been written and by Coates. He's planning to direct it as well, and it's going to be negotiated. So he was originally, Bolden, stationed in the Chicago office, right? He first met Kennedy while on assignment there, and he played a key role in thwarting an early assassination plot in Chicago months before JFK was eventually assassinated in Dallas. So thanks to Bolden's investigation, Kennedy canceled a planned trip to Chicago where he was set to address supporters of his 1960 campaign election. So obviously these are the type of stories, these untold stories. I mean, we're always going to be talking about first, no matter how we feel about it. But, a different type of intrigue, something different, a time that is not necessarily too set in the present where we tend to disassociate the steps, the things that people really went through, what it means to be the first, the only, especially given the state. And although, this is a side, although the way that things are coming down, we might not be too far away from what it looked like in 1961, but a story for another day. We'll, keep the vibes high as far as that's concerned. Let's get into some of this chat commentary. Pretty Brown Mimi says, the Oprah Winfrey Show was must-see television growing up. I miss the mystery of the Hollywood celebrities. Now they tell us all. Take me out of the group chat, please.
I got the solution for that.
What's the solution?
Mimi, get off social media.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we do have a choice. Let me ask you, speaking of, because, we talk a lot about people's triggers and being conscious of that. Like, we give much more warnings for things than we used to in the past and all of that stuff. Do we think that people need to, toughen up and realize the world doesn't bend and shift to how they're feeling? Or I'm asking, I'm not saying that's the right approach. I'm asking a question. Or do we think trigger warnings are kind and necessary in the current environment that we are in? Remember, we just talked about how a few years back, you wouldn't see images of people smoking on TV. Heck, you think about just take it back to like the 50s and stuff like I Love Lucy and those shows. They couldn't even show, and I Love Lucy, Ricky and Lucy were really married, but it was considered immoral and obscene to show couples in bed together. So that's why you had twin beds for all of the couples back in the day on TV shows. So having said that, you know, I feel like that's that when they talk about taking it back and stuff like that, I feel like those are the type of things that they are rooting for, where, you know, whatever the dark, seedy underbelly or just the regular stuff that happens in life, you know, we will go back to not seeing it. Like, you even think about things like the Brady Bunch. You would be in their bathroom, but you never saw the toilet because it's not proper. We don't do that. Listen, thank you guys for locking in each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m., rocking with me here for your entertainment news update. You know, we had another night of culture conversation and a little bit of chaos. That's what we do. But I appreciate you for locking in with me. Make sure that you are stuck and ready for that good conversation. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, is coming up next. I'll chat with you guys tomorrow.
Anymore, 'cause girl, I've never been more sure that baby it's you. This ring here represents my heart and everything that you've been waiting for. Just say I do, because I can see us holding hands, walking on the beach, our toes in the sand. I can see us on the countryside, sitting on the grassland side by side. You could be my baby, when I make you my lady. Girl, you amaze me, ain't gotta do nothing crazy. See, all I want you to do is be my love.